Yeah, he was dead.
Jesus walked on water.
Yes, Jesus walked on water.
All right, Jesus.
Yeah.
But people that couldn't see, he made them see. Yes.
Yes.
And then when he was dead, he came back to life.
Absolutely.
And what evidence do you have for this?
Right. So great. Let's talk about that question. He's come here with the attitude of he's got his little atheist script of his human secularist.
I'm not an atheist.
And he's environmentalist. And he's come to attack and to ridicule the Christian faith. I am saying that you have in your worldview no grounds to uphold any moral system.
Neither do you.
Right, hold on 1 second. Let me reply to that. Your agnosticism means that you can't even describe the world around you.
I can, why not?
Because you've just created...
I'm not making a moral judgment,
you made a contradictory truth claim.
The reason Muhammad believed that claim is because he saw the angel with his own eyes.
He didn't believe it because of that reason. You got it wrong. Stories about the lives of the Caesars, evidence about the lives of the Caesars. Answer my question. Then you have to admit that the New Testament documents are evidence.
Yes, I admit.
Thank you, there we go. Thank you. So we've gone from there's no evidence of the resurrection to there is evidence of the resurrection. Any other questions about Christianity? Yeah, of course. Right. So, go on.
Hello, mate. My name's Ali.
Nice to meet Ali.
So I'm agnostic. What's your name, mate?
Bob.
Right, Bob. What are your claims?
So my claims are that human beings are fundamentally broken in their heart. They're sinful. If you interrupt this, you might get a full answer. So the human beings are broken in their heart. And that brokenness we call sin. We don't live up to what we were created to live by. And that means that we live in a world of sin that expresses itself through injustice. And that the way that we can resolve that is through submitting to Christ as our Lord and Saviour and become his disciples as our teacher.
Right, Bob, I'm sure you appreciate that. You know, it's said that human beings or humanity goes back about 200,000 years, recognizably, right?
10,000.
200,000. And there's so many scriptures in history, right? And it seems to me that Christianity, like all the other religions, has a syncretic nature, right? Whereby anything within Christianity has a lineage in history somewhere else.
Okay.
Right? So I understand your claim. What I want, I mean, you might go on for ages. Basically,
that we're broken.
That we're broken as a species. You're saying, right?
No, water, bro. Do you disagree with that?
So what I'm saying is that maybe you're looking in the wrong place for an explanation for human behavior.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Maybe evolution and evolutionary psychology. Do you know what evolutionary psychology is?
Let me ask you a question. Do you believe that human history testifies that human beings are whole, complete, and sound?
I mean, why do you expect another species of ape on the planet to be this sort of complete angel sort of species we're just part of the overall context of the universe?
No, you're assuming
shame,
too much there.
We have fear and we have a need for survival, right? We have the gamut of emotions that we have. It's an algorithm of emotions.
So in answer to my question, when you look back at human history, would you say that human history has been filled with injustice or filled with justice?
I mean, human history has been filled with justice and injustice, but on the whole, what we consider justice is justice for us.
Great.
The chickens, I assure you, the chickens and the cows, right, don't agree with our justice.
Great.
Right?
So justice.
So your justice is your justice. And British justice is British justice.
So justice.
And
so
the concept of justice.
Right. So you're arguing that there is no idea of right and wrong, that it's just social construct.
Yeah.
Right. Great. So in a society that believes that we should wipe out all the Jews,
Right.
which we've had an example of.
Which society was this?
That was the Nazi society.
Not Germany, yeah?
Yeah, Nazi
Okay.
society.
Not the rest of the world,
Nat-
just Germany.
Exactly,
Okay,
yes. We're
yeah.
talking about that society.
So Germany
So
was
would,
bad.
would
Germany,
based
yeah?
on what principle?
It's based on it was based on
Why was it bad to wipe out all the
It was
Jews?
based on eugenics and
But why is eugenics bad?
Self-preferentialism.
Why is that bad?
Look, let me explain. Let me get a pointer and I'll help you understand
No,
this.
I want you to answer my
I'll
question.
help you understand.
Why was it bad?
Why is it bad for a chicken when we slaughter and eat it?
Okay.
Because it's the chicken, right? So it's bad when it's us. It's bad when we're being killed as a species, right? But it's not bad when we are causing cataclysm, ecosystem collapse on the planet.
So you've got
That's not bad,
you've got
right?
a contradictory position
So
there.
your morality is specific to your situation. It's contextual, right?
So you haven't answered my. So let's have a conversation.
Okay.
So you have claimed that justice is a social construct, but then in the next breath, you have tried to say that Nazism was bad. But that is just another social construct.
Yeah,
You
it is, I
right.
agree.
So in other words, then we're just talking about opinions, aren't we?
Yeah, it's your opinion,
Right.
of course.
Right. Absolutely. So there is for your worldview, there is no.
Which I don't complete.
Right,
Which I
wait,
don't
one
say
second.
is complete. I'm not telling you.
We will have better.
You're saying you've got a complete worldview.
Right, no. I do have a complete worldview.
Okay.
So I do have a complete worldview. You're absolutely right. So the point that I'm making out to you is that here's why everyone who watches your YouTube channel should reject your worldview, because it is deficient psychologically.
I'm not saying
No.
we should do away
One
with
second.
morality.
One second.
I didn't say.
Can we have a
should do away with
conversation?
morality.
Can we have a
I think
conversation?
morality is important.
Can we have a conversation?
I think morality is necessary for the survival of the species.
Can we have a conversation? So I'm going
It's a necessity. It's not a nicety.
okay, I'll just start interrupting you then. So basically,
you're gonna put words in my mouth,
So
I should
what
be
we
able to defend myself.
but let's have a conversation.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. That means you make a point, I reply. I
Yeah.
make a point, you reply.
I'll just correct it.
Let's interrupt one another less, and we'll have more of a conversation than if we just interrupt. Or otherwise, I'll just have.
I've got no
okay.
regard for morality. That's not.
No, I didn't say that. You see, you're not even listening. You're so busy interrupting, you're not even listening to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why I'm saying, for crying out loud,
getting ahead of you.
let's have a conversation.
Go ahead.
Because you're not listening to what I am saying.
No, I'm not.
I am saying
go
that you have, in your worldview, no grounds to uphold any moral system.
Neither do you.
Right, hold on 1 second. Let me reply to that. Because as a Christian, we reject the relativism of your worldview.
So now you have to prove Christianity.
Right,
Yes.
so let me firstly demonstrate the fallacy of relativism. Do you believe
you prove Christianity? And in proving Christianity, you will disprove
One second.
the fallacy of relativism.
1 second. I'm going to disprove the fallacy of relativism.
No.
Is every truth claim relative?
Yes.
Does that include your truth claim just then?
Yes.
So that means that your truth claim is not an objective reality.
Of course.
So it's not an accurate description of the world.
It's my perception.
Exactly. So you can't even describe the world around you. Your agnosticism.
No, I exist.
Your agnosticism. I know. Cogito ergo sum. But the point
But
is,
that's a certainty.
your
relative.
agnosticism means that you can't even describe the world around you.
I can. Why not?
Because you've just created.
I'm not making a moral
you've
judgment,
made, you've
but
made
I
a,
can describe
You've
it.
made a contradictory truth claim.
Why?
Is it a true statement? All truth claims are relative.
Look.
Answer the question.
Wait a second. Stop shouting. Relax. Right? We're talking about Christianity, yes?
Yes.
So you're claiming Christianity.
Christianity claims.
I don't make any.
Right.
I don't make any claims. I'm not claiming.
Christianity claims that there is an absolute clear truth, a real truth.
Let me get my word in.
Do you agree with that
Just one
statement?
second. Yeah, of course Christianity claims.
But do you agree with it?
Of course not.
Or why?
I'm being silly.
Why do you disagree
Just
with
let
it?
me make my point.
Okay,
right?
why do you disagree with it?
I'm not claiming I know it all. You're claiming you know it all.
I haven't made that claim.
Just 1 second.
I haven't made that claim.
Just 1 second.
Go on.
you told we talked about not disrupting, right?
Right, and when you stop
so-
interrupting me, I'll
Okay,
stop
that's
interrupting
fine.
you.
That's
I just always find it funny. People complain that they shouldn't be interrupted when they feel free to interrupt.
Yeah.
So do you want to have a conversation now?
I do. I think
right.
we're having a good conversation
Go on then.
so far. Let's keep it up.
Right.
So you're claiming that you know your religion is a complete worldview.
It
You've
is.
said that already,
It's a complete way of life.
So you know where we came from, what the universe is, what it's all about, where we're going after death, right? And that our consciousness will continue to exist, right? So you're the one that's claiming to have the complete answer.
Yes.
I'm saying let's slow down for a minute, right?
Yep.
Let's not jump the gun as a species
Yep.
and say
Yep.
this is the truth, right?
Yep.
I'm saying we should slow down and just revise things, right? And be humble in relative to the universe.
Okay,
right?
can I reply?
So between me and you, I'm not the one that's claiming to have all the answers. So don't ask me questions about morality and relativism
reply?
and all that, and say, got you. You don't have the answers.
Can I
Okay,
reply?
I don't have the answers.
Can I
I'm
reply?
not claiming to have the answers.
Can I reply?
So let me find a few words, right? And ultimately, it's upon you, yeah, because you've taken it upon yourself.
Yeah.
So my apology. You've taken it upon yourself to claim that you have all the answers. So therefore, you
Can I
need
reply?
you need to give me the evidence.
Right, right. So now let me reply to what you've said.
Yes.
Right? You're absolutely right. I am making a truth claim that there is such a thing as truth that we can interact with. And I am pointing out to you.
I agree. Okay.
One second.
There are truths we can
I am. Right, you're interrupting, right? So the point that I'm making out to you is that if your worldview mutually contradicts itself, it's clearly not true. If you're saying that all truth, no, don't interrupt. All right, fine. We'll just talk over one another again, and you'll complain when I do it to you. But when you're saying that all truth claims are relative, you're making a truth claim. If that truth claim is relative, it isn't an accurate truth claim about the world.
You got me.
Right, I have got you. I have got you. Right, I have got you.
Jesus was
No,
alive.
no.
There was a man. There was a man.
Now I have got you.
4,000
Now I
years
have got
ago.
you. Are you
We don't know
listening?
when. We don't know.
Are you listening?
There was a man that lived in a
Are you
whale's stomach.
listening?
Don't you believe there's
Are
a
you
man that lived
listening?
in a whale's stomach?
Are you listening?
Yeah.
Right? Are
So,
you
ladies
listening?
and gentlemen, between me
He's
and
going to
God-
run away now.
No, I'm not
He's
running
going to run away now.
I will not go anywhere.
He's going to run
I will
away
not
now.
go anywhere.
And unfortunately,
So, just a second.
he doesn't want to have a conversation.
He thinks he's got me.
Because when he was talking,
I'm not gonna run away.
he wanted me to listen. But now I'm talking, he doesn't want to listen.
No, I'm making a
So I'm from now on at liberty to interrupt him as I please. And watch him complain when I do.
All right.
Now,
So-
let's be clear.
So-
The agnostic
Christian
has proposed a
Believe-
mutually contradictory statement.
lived in a
He
whale's
has
stomach.
said that all truths are relative.
Believes there's a
But the
man.
reality is, if you say all truths are relative, that must include the claim that all truths are relative. In other words, the position of the relativist is relative to
Tell
himself
me about Jonah and the
and
whale.
is therefore not an objective truth.
Tell me about Moses.
No,
So Moses
ladies
parted the
and
sea.
gentlemen.
Moses parted the sea. Therefore, right?
If two truth claims contradict, it means that it is not sound thinking. What does this mean?
Did Moses part the sea?
It means that we have established that there is truth that we can engage
Did
with.
Jesus walk on water?
Now we've established that there is
Did
truth.
Jonah live in the whale's stomach?
Now we've established.
Therefore, Jonah lived in the whale's
Now
stomach.
that we've
right?
established
Yeah.
that there is truth that we can engage with,
I agree with you.
the next question is, how do we find that truth? That's a much more intelligent question than the silly gotcha moment
It's
questions
certainly
you're
not the
asking.
Bible. It's certainly not the Bible.
Okay.
I mean, you
No,
can,
one
you've got
second.
evidence that it is. I'm here to hear you.
So
hear you out. Yeah.
let's think about what truth is. Right? Truth
Yeah.
is that story that best describes reality.
So
That's what
including-
truth
including
is.
Jonah living in the whale's stomach. Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah,
That's
look at the camera and
the
say
best. Yes.
Jonah,
So
Jonah lived in the whale's stomach.
no, he
yes.
didn't live. He was dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was dead in the stomach,
Oh,
Swale.
Jesus
Yeah, he was
walked
dead.
Jesus walked on water.
Yes, Jesus walked on water.
All right, Jesus.
Yeah.
Made people that couldn't see, he made them see. Yes.
Yes.
And then when he was dead, he came back to life.
Absolutely.
And what evidence do you have for this?
Right. So great. Let's talk about that question.
Yes, that's the question.
Let's talk about that question. Okay. So the evidence. Let's firstly understand the question we're asking. We're asking a historical question. So let's think about
You're
it as
making a
historians.
historical claim.
No. Yeah, I am making an historical claim.
Yeah.
So let's investigate
prove it.
it
Yeah.
as historians.
Yes.
Right. What do historians do when they examine history?
They look at patterns within history on the whole.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I mean,
So I'll tell you what historians
they
do.
look at all the evidence.
They look at all the evidence. Brilliant, right? Now, here's the thing. There isn't a single historian, are you listening?
Yeah.
Even Bart Ehrman, who's a critic of Christianity,
A
accepts.
very good critic.
Yeah, he is. But listen to what he said about the resurrection.
Yeah.
Listen. Are you listening? Are you listening?
I'm listening.
Are you listening?
Yes.
He accepts that the first apostles had an experience that convinced them that Jesus Christ had risen from the dead.
So do I.
Right, you've had an experience that convinces you.
I accept that those people believe the bullshit they believe.
Right, why?
Because lots of people believe nonsensical things.
What would convince you that a man had risen from the dead that you knew was dead?
Look, what convinced them?
Answer the question.
What convinced them?
No, answer the question.
What convinced those people?
No, answer my
They
question.
saw it with their own eyes, yes?
Answer my question.
So, just
Answer my question.
Can I answer?
Yes.
Without you
Here is
convincing
my
me.
question.
All right.
Here is my question. What would convince you that a man you knew was dead had risen from the dead?
Very good question.
What would convince
and
you?
I will answer your question.
Go on.
Right?
Right.
So those people that were there at the time, Jesus' friends, right, according to your claim.
That's not my question.
This one. Can I answer?
Yeah, my question.
All right. Yeah, I'm answering your question.
Go on.
Right? So Jesus' friends, right? The people that claim who knew him, they knew him. They saw him. They claim they saw him with their own eyes.
Still not my question.
I'm finishing. They claim that they saw him with their own eyes, right? And because they saw him with their own eyes, therefore they believed he was resurrected.
And now the answer to my question.
So if seeing the event with their own eyes is what convinced them, that's what will convince me. I did not see it with my own eyes.
There you go. There you go. Did you hear what he said? Did you hear what he said? He said, if I saw with my own eyes a man who I knew was dead, I would believe that a man had risen from the dead.
Because that would be evidence.
No, ladies and gentlemen, he accepts that the first people to preach the resurrection had experienced something that had convinced them that Christ had risen from the dead. Just like Btbsoco. Just like Btbsoco.
Can I make a point now?
So,
Can I make a point?
one second.
Wait, you're
One
saying,
second.
wait, just a second.
What are the claims of the
You
apostles?
put word in my mouth.
What do the apostles claim?
So I think the whole thing is mythological.
What do the apostles claim?
I think the idea that these people saw another man wake up from the dead is just mythology. I'm not accepting it.
You can think what you like.
Just a second.
That's just a thought.
Okay,
It's just
good.
an opinion.
And I can say the same thing about you. You believe that a man lived in a whale
What do I
stomach,
believe?
right?
I don't believe he lived.
believe-
You didn't listen the
you
first
believe- you
time.
believe
He was
that a
dead
man-
in the stomach.
You believe a man collected a pair of every terrestrial animal, put them on a boat, right? And there was a global.
That's not what I
global
believe.
flood.
You're making an
You
assumption.
believe.
You're making an
You
assumption.
believe
That's
that-
not what I
Okay, what do
believe.
you believe? Tell
That's
me
not
about-
what I
tell me
believe.
about Noah.
So,
What do you
no,
believe about
we're
Noah?
not changing the subject.
Yeah,
No,
let's change it.
we're having a
Let's change the
conversation.
subject. Yeah.
We're having a conversation because the thing is,
Yeah, look.
you've come here.
No.
No.
You said I
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, he's come here with the attitude of he's got his little atheist script of his human secularist
I'm not an atheist.
and his environmentalist, and he's come
I'm
to
not
attack
atheist.
and to ridicule the Christian faith.
I'm not ridiculing.
But let's be clear. Let's be clear. He said the thing that would convince him that a man had risen from the dead is that he would have to see it with his own eyes. Bart Ehrman, and he said on camera that the earliest apostles had an experience that they had seen the risen Lord with their eyes.
There's no evidence. There's no evidence.
The apostles claimed. There is evidence.
What's the evidence?
The evidence is in this book. It is in this book. Yes. Yes. Listen.
Yeah, I'm listening. This
Listen.
better be good, by the way.
Yes, listen.
So right now, just a second, my friend.
Is nothing new.
So right now, this man is going to prove beyond the shadow of a doubt that 2,000 years ago,
Pull out a Bible scripture.
a man made 3 fish, 100 fish. Prove it.
Right. Here's what I'm going to prove, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to prove with evidence that 2,000 years ago, men believed that they had seen their Messiah rise from the dead. And I am going to prove it with historical evidence that the earliest Christians were convinced of the resurrection.
Who wrote the Bible?
Are you listening?
What is this?
Are you listening? Are you listening? Are you listening?
What is this?
Are you listening?
Yes.
You're just another
Ambo, it's alright, relax.
peeling my car.
Are you listening?
It's nothing new.
Okay. Bear with us 1 second.
Oh man, it's good to get some moral support for a change, you
Nothing new
know?
about what you're doing.
Listen, this was the writings of the Apostle Paul. He wrote between 5 to 10 years after the life of Jesus on earth. Yes, this is the evidence that the first Christians believed in the bodily resurrection of Christ.
Why are you shouting at
Listen, because you're interrupting. But you're interrupting. Listen. For I delivered to you as of first importance what I also received, that Christ died for our sins according to the Scriptures, and that he was buried, and that he was raised on the third day according to the Scriptures, that he appeared to Cephas, then to the 12, after those to more than 500 brethren, at one time, most of whom remain until now, but some have fallen asleep. Then he appeared to James, then to all the apostles. In the early church, they were convinced by the testimony of those that witnessed the resurrection. That is historical proof that the first Christians experienced a vision of a risen Lord. That was their experience. And what would it convince him? To believe that a man had risen from the dead? He said, I would have to see it with my own eyes. And that is what they saw with their own eyes.
Wait a second. Can I make a point? I'll make a point, right?
Go on.
So, me and you agree that there's a story about this guy called Muhammad, right?
Talking about Jesus.
No, okay, no, but we're playing a mental experiment.
Okay,
right?
go on.
So, me and you agree there was a man called Muhammad,
Yeah.
right? And there's a claim out there in the world that this man, while he was in a cave
Yeah.
1,400 years ago,
Yeah.
right, he saw the angel, right? And the angel told him
Yep.
that he is a prophet, and the angel gave him a portion
Yep.
of God's words.
Yes.
Right? That's
yeah.
the claim.
That's
right?
the claim.
So the reason Muhammad believed that claim
Yep.
is because he saw the angel with his own eyes.
He didn't believe it because of that reason. You got it wrong.
So in principle, look, let's just play a mental experiment, right?
Okay.
So because we don't know the reality of what happened,
Yeah.
we went there, right? And it's a long time ago. Right?
Yeah.
So the way Muhammad believed is when he saw the miracle, right?
No, that's not the way he believed.
Before that event, before he saw the angel, he did not believe. He didn't even conceive of the possibility.
That's also
right?
not true.
Fine. Look, when Moses parted the sea, right? Before he parted the sea, right? A lot of people might not have believed that he's a prophet, right? But the miracle of him parting the sea proved his prophecy, right? It was a miracle, right? And when people saw the miracle, they became convinced,
Yes.
right? So if those people that were around Jesus, right? If the myth, just 1 second.
No,
If
you
the
can't
myth is
complain
true-
about interrupting. You've been interrupting me
That's fine,
consistently all the way
that's fair
through.
enough, and I apologise, right? If that's the case, if it's the case,
That's not the case.
if it's actually the case that these people saw a man wake up from the dead, right? If they saw it, then I would understand why they would believe it, and
Correct.
They would be beholden in believing that, right?
Fair enough. Brilliant.
But that evidence of seeing,
Yep.
it's for them, right? Because they saw. I did not see.
I disagree.
Right? So I did not see.
I disagree.
But I can't take their testimony. I need to see as well.
No, I disagree.
Right? Why is their testimony good
I
enough?
disagree.
Why is it? Because let's suppose someone came to them, right? Those very same people.
No, I disagree. No, let me come back. No, see, the thing is,
last point and then come back.
because the thing is, you lost the moral high ground when you interrupted me consistently earlier. So now allow me to talk about, because here's the problem. This brother is completely ignorant about religion. You are ignorant. The reason why Muhammad believed that he had seen an angel is because a pagan and a Christian had told him that he had seen an angel.
Look,
he believed
I'm not making a
based
claim.
upon
I'm
a
not claiming
testimony.
it. I just used it
No,
as
no,
an
no,
example of a miracle.
no. Listen,
It was just
listen.
it was just an example
So,
of a miracle.
and right.
I'm not
But
claiming
your
I can't
whole
claim.
premise is completely false. What you're trying to say,
Why is it
you're
false?
trying to say that the testimony of authoritative figures,
It's
the
upon you to
testimony,
prove your claim.
the test, and
I don't
here's
need
the
to-
point.
I don't need to prove
the
your
point.
claim.
The whole approach that you've got is wrong. You're trying to say that I have to
No, I'm just
experience
here to hear you
it
out.
to believe it.
And you've not given me any
No,
evidence other than a verse in
you've
the
never
Bible.
even listened to anything I've said. You've
What was the
you've never
evidence?
even
That
listened.
People have walked away.
Exactly. What was the evidence?
It was a verse from the Bible.
And what was the statement in the verse in the Bible?
Some people saw Jesus wake up from the dead.
Exactly.
I mean,
So here's the point.
Why is that evidence?
Here's the point. It is evidence to the fact that there was some transformative experience to the first
It's a claim.
people.
It's a claim.
No, it's
That's
a fact.
the evidence.
It's not disputed
You-
by
if
Bart
you
Ehrman.
think- if you
It's
think-
not disputed by Mike Lacona.
If you think
It's
that's-
not
I'll make my
disputed
closing
by
statement. I'll
any
make my closing- I'll
person
make my closing
who has studied the fact.
Just 1 second.
Hold on one
Can
second.
we make closing
Oh
statements?
no.
I'm ready for my
No,
closing
oh,
statement.
this is the thing. No, 1 second. 1 second.
Because if
No,
you-
1 second.
if
You
you
made
think-
a number of points,
you think-
and I'm going to try and
If you-
address
just 1
those
second.
points,
I'm getting tired
and then
today,
let's do
right?
closing statements.
I've had a long
Let
day.
me address the points that you made, and then let's do closing statements.
I'm ready. Can I
Okay,
make mine?
no,
You
no,
can say whatever
no,
you want for as
no,
long
no,
as
no,
you
no,
want.
no.
I won't walk away.
No,
until
you
I'm
lost
done.
the moral high ground when you persistently interrupted me. You can't complain.
All right.
You can't complain.
Look, I'll make my closing
Right.
statement to the
So
camera.
what I'm going to say,
So-
what I'm going to say is that you made a number. Your whole approach is wrong. You're
Okay,
assuming
fine.
there are
Tell
many
me what the
things.
evidence is. Help me, please.
There are many things that you believe that you don't have evidence for, and you base those beliefs.
Forget me.
Then you
Forget me.
base
I'm
those
here-
beliefs,
I'm here to hear
and
you
you
out,
base
right?
those beliefs
You're making
on
a
the
claim.
fact that authority figures have told you something, and you
Who's
accept
the
their
authority figure?
authority.
Who's told me anything? What are you talking about?
Okay, right. All the way through this conversation, right? If we just ignore the fact that you couldn't conduct yourself with any manners, let's just forget that for a second.
Look, if I've come across like I was rude,
Well,
I apologize.
people-
I think we've had a good debate so far. I think we're having
I
a
think
good
it descended
discussion.
into a shouting match. And but the point is, there's been no point at which I've been able to speak that you haven't interrupted.
But it was still coherent.
And you're still doing it now.
Look,
You're still doing it now.
I'm going to give you as long as you want, but you have to present your evidence. Actually present your evidence.
Listen.
Go ahead.
The reality is that your entire approach is wrong, because you do accept the testimony of other people all of the time. If your friends say to you, X did Y,
It's really silly.
if you trust that person, then you will believe X did Y. The reality is, that, and this is something that even Bart Ehrman agrees with, that there
doesn't.
was.
Bart Ehrman
There you
doesn't
go again, interrupting. I'm going to give you all the time.
But you're
then you
making the most
interrupt.
ridiculous statements. You know what?
Listen.
Let me start again.
Listen.
Right, I'm really going to try hard.
Yeah,
this time,
really
right?
try hard.
Oh my God.
Really
All
tried
right,
hard.
go ahead.
Because the reality, bro,
Yeah.
is if you come at this conversation with arrogance, it becomes really easy for me
No,
to knock
it's
you
not
down.
arrogance, it's-
There you go again, interrupting.
Look, what's arrogant?
There you go, and
what's
interrupting.
arrogant, you accuse me of
You're
arrogance.
consistently
Don't accuse me of arrogance.
interrupting.
Don't accuse me of arrogance. Right?
So,
what's
bro.
arrogant is to claim to
Bro.
have all the answers.
Bro.
That's what you claim.
No,
That's
I've
what
never
you're
made that
arrogant.
claim. I've never made that claim.
You're
I've
arrogant.
never
Don't
made made that claim.
Don't accuse me of arrogance.
Prove to me I've said that I've got all the answers.
Are you a Christian?
Prove.
Do you believe in Christianity?
That's your own bigotry speaking right there.
Christianity has all the answers.
Christians don't make that claim.
Christianity.
No,
Claim.
they don't.
Not Christians.
No,
Christianity has
they
all the
don't. You're ignorant of religion, mate.
Christianity.
You're ignorant.
You already said you have a complete worldview.
Yes, a complete worldview is different from having all the answers. You see, if you would actually,
please give me the evidence.
no,
I'm getting
you
tired.
see,
Give me the evidence.
you see, the point
I'm
is,
actually getting tired.
the point is, bro, and hopefully your audience is better than you are. Hopefully your audience is better than you are, because you are filled with stereotypes and characterizations about Christians and about Christianity. Christianity does not claim to have all the answers. In our worldview, there is incredible scope
Give me what
for
answers you
new.
have. Give me something.
We have incredible worldview in our worldview to learn and to inquire. That's why the sciences were born out of a Christian milieu, because Christians don't claim to have all the answers, and we do believe that you can learn in knowledge. But the challenge that you have to do, and the challenge that your audience have to do, is you have to explain to me what happened. I've given my hypothesis.
Is it a hypothesis?
When you're talking in terms of history, you talk in terms of hypotheses.
So your religion's
And the
a
point is,
hypothesis.
no, listen. The question that we're investigating, try to approach this question as an adult. When we approach this question,
it's a bit childish.
there you go. No.
Did Jesus
So,
walk on water?
so asking questions about history is childish in your worldview.
No, it's history.
That's what you've just done. Right, so do it seriously. You do it seriously then. And what you do when you inquire about history is you come up with a hypothesis that explains the evidence. And the evidence is that 2,000 years ago, a whole bunch of people were convinced that they had seen a dead man rise from the dead. Now, you have to give a hypothesis that explains why.
No, I don't. You're a funny man. All right, okay.
So you're simply saying no. On what grounds do you
don't.
deny the idea that a man can rise from the dead? On what grounds?
Yesterday,
On what grounds?
on the grounds that it happened 2,000 years ago, and I'm not obliged to believe it.
No, I didn't say that. No one said that. I asked you, on what grounds
On the grounds
do you
that it's a-
deny that it could happen?
Look,
On what grounds that it could
would you
happen?
agree with me that extraordinary
No,
claims,
answer my question.
Extraordinary claims
No, I don't agree with that.
require
No,
extraordinary
I don't
evidence?
agree with that.
All right, on
Answer that
bombshell, ladies
question.
and gentlemen.
Answer that question. Answer my
I
question.
appreciate you.
On what grounds can you say it could not happen? On what grounds?
I'm not saying it could not happen.
There you go. So that means you have to entertain the hypothesis.
But there could also be a
No, if you are not willing to say it could not happen,
I could right
then you
now.
have to entertain the
I
hypothesis.
could right now jump 1,000 feet
No.
into the air. I could.
No,
Is it going to happen?
no.
It's-
If
you
you
know,
are saying that it could happen, you have to
Right,
entertain the
look.
hypothesis.
All right, I appreciate
You're
we've had a
stating that
good
it's myth,
conversation, Bob. We've had
but
a
you
good
have no
conversation.
basis for it.
I'm going to make my closing statement. I
Right, you
appreciate-
make your closing statement,
I appreciate-
and then I'll make my
I
closing
appreciate-
statement.
I appreciate your time. You know, I think it's been a bit wild.
Are you going to let the camera stay here for my closing statement?
Yeah, of course I will.
Okay, go on, make your
I appreciate-
closing statement.
No, I just want to, because I don't like the idea that I've come across like I've been rude.
You have.
And I apologise, right?
Apology accepted.
And I think we've had a good conversation, right? And maybe we can continue at another time. I think when it comes to religion, ultimately, and it's the same thing I tell a lot of religious people. that
Yeah.
We can't treat religion like a treasure to be defended. We should treat it like a theory to be proven. Right?
Okay.
And we should be open to the criticism, and we personally, as if we're believers, we should challenge ourselves the way other people challenge us, and the way we challenge other people, right? Excuse me, I'm not being rude if I say, look, I know what you believe, right? And I hear you are, I can see why you're saying you believe it, but it's just not quite working for me, because I think we've got a different perspective on how we think about this, right? Because
Is this a closing statement?
It's my closing statement, because it seems like we're watching the same movie but seeing something quite different, right? And what I would propose is what we do is we just use basic critical thinking, right? And the basic basic questions of critical thinking are who, what, when, where, how, and why. Yeah,
Yeah, great.
So,
let's use it.
So let's look at.
But 1 second, hold on.
Just one
This is a closing statement. So close your statement.
I'm going to talk for about a minute more, right? So we look at an event like the event of Jesus turning a small number of fish into a large number of fish, right? When was this? About 2,000 years ago, right? Where was this? We're not really sure, right? Caesarea, okay. Who was there, right? It was Jesus, and the apostles, and a bunch of other more people, right? How do we know all of this?
What's your closing statement, bro?
How do we know all of this, right? It's written in a book, right, which is pseudography, yeah? And if you don't know what pseudography is, Google it, right?
Okay, can I reply? Because this is a long closing statement.
So let's not sort of believe things without extraordinary evidence. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, and as far as I can tell, you failed to provide the extraordinary evidence.
Okay, so allow me to reply. What I think we saw here today was an example of very slack and lazy thinking on your part.
I would say
no,
that's fine.
because what we've got here.
I didn't insult you. I didn't insult you.
No, I'm talking about your agnosticism.
Talk about my ideas.
Exactly, I am.
Yeah, talk about the idea. Talk about the idea.
It was very slack and lazy thinking because we identified a contradiction at the very heart of your own worldview. The idea of relative truth claims.
I don't have a worldview.
That in itself is also contradictory.
I withdraw my worldview.
That's also a contradictory statement. You do clearly have a worldview, and the fact that you deny it, demonstrates a lack of personal awareness. Now, furthermore, I would state, if you accept that the resurrection could happen, you have to entertain the idea that it did happen. We're talking about a historical question. The question that we're talking about is what convinced a whole bunch of people independently to believe that a man that they knew was dead had risen from the dead. And any honest person would recognize that the only sufficient proof that could convince such a person is to believe, is to see and experience that person alive and not dead. Now, simply saying it could not happen is not an option, because what that does is that presumes a world in which God does not exist, and that is not a worldview that can be evidenced or proven. So therefore, you have to ask yourself, is there evidence of the resurrection? And the answer is, there is evidence of the resurrection. The problem with skeptics is that they don't have the courage to follow the evidence. We do on other matters. We do when we talk about the lives of the Caesars. We do when we talk about the life of Napoleon. We do when we talk about Aristotle and Plato. But when it comes to Jesus Christ, we took the evidence out because we don't like the evidence. No, that was our closing statements, remember? So, I would like to give you a gift. I would like to give you a gift. There you go. Nice conversation.
Maybe we can do it again.
This is for you.
It's going to be bad for the environment.
Why are you fighting to read it?
It's going to be bad for the environment if I take it and throw it in the bin, you know? I don't want to be wasteful, honestly.
So, I mean, the thing is...
You know what, if it satisfies you, I'll take it. Yeah?
What, to throw in the bin or to read?
I mean, I'll read it,
okay.
But I'll give it back to you next week.
Fair enough. Come back and talk.
Because it'll be good for the environment.
Yeah, come back and talk. All right. And by the way, on the environment, bro, you'll find that we have a lot that we agree about.
Yeah, of course. I'm sure we do.
Oh, we do? Yeah.
Nice one, mate. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions, guys, about the Christian faith? Okay. So, I want to actually do a talk.
Okay, go.
Finally, I want to do a talk.
Right, let's change the batteries.
Okay.
Peter, will I wrap up on that conversation or not?
Well, basically, what you saw was the brother was obviously very keen to get his arguments out. No, you stood right there. You stood right there. I'm doing it in front of you, not behind your back.
Talk about me?
Yeah.
No, it's a wrap up.
So the brother wanted to come and he wanted to get out his arguments. His arguments are the same kind of thing that humanist secularists use and the new atheists use. But what you saw demonstrated is that in this worldview is a fundamental contradiction.
We're on the same team.
I'm happy to treat you as a friend.
Yeah, we're on the same team.
But
we're not. Look, I see you as a fellow traveller in a journey.
Yeah.
And we're just discoursing, right? I'm not here to attack you.
So engage with the evidence.
Yeah. So I did engage with the evidence, but you really failed to present any. That's the problem.
No, I did present some.
Me
You
and
just don't like
we've got
it.
a different perspective on what evidence is.
What's
To you, a bit of pseudography.
what's the historical evidence?
To you, a bit of pseudography.
What's the historical evidence?
A bit of writing on a book is historical evidence. To me,
Are you saying that's not historical evidence?
It's a kind of evidence.
Thank you.
But it's not the kind of evidence that I'm going to throw all my eggs into its basket and say, yeah, Jesus was definitely came back from the dead. He definitely walked on water. Jonah definitely lived in the whale's stomach. Moses definitely parted the sea. Noah definitely got a pair of every animal.
I get the point.
You know, the whole idea.
Wait 1 second.
Anyway.
I'm glad we've established that it is evidence. I'm glad we've established that it isn't. Wait. So what is it then?
It's no more evidence.
What is historical evidence?
No more evidence.
No, 1 second.
Just 1 second.
1 second. No. Stories about the lives of the Caesars. Evidence about the lives of the Caesars. Answer my question. Is Plutarch's Lives of the Caesars? Yeah, please do.
I'll answer it.
Because this is the point. People that don't want to deal with the New Testament as evidence have no consistency, none, in terms of their historical inquiry, none. Right? I want to ask you very clearly. Plutarch's Lives of the Caesars. Well, no, answer my question.
No, before we move on.
1 second, answer my question. Plutarch's Lives of the Caesars, is it evidence about the lives of the Caesars? Yes or no?
It makes part of the overall body of evidence.
So it is evidence.
It's a part of
Right, then you have to admit that the New Testament documents are evidence.
Yes, I admit.
Thank you, there we go. Thank you. So we've gone from there's no evidence of the resurrection to there is evidence of the resurrection.
Are you done? Can I speak? Can I speak? Just for a second.
They don't let you speak.
Can I
There are
speak?
3 people there.
Can I speak?
No, Chris, you keep it. You
should have left it as a
Listen.
Just don't refer
You got
to
it
the one that
wrong.
walked away.
You got it
Refer
wrong.
to the
I'm going
ideas.
to do a wrap up.
Refer to the
I'm
ideas.
going to. He's running away. He's running away. He's running away. Okay. So here's the falsity of what the brother said. Here's the falsity of what he said. And it is an idea that lots of people share in our culture, which is the idea that Christian beliefs came from the Bible. That's totally wrong. The Bible came from Christian beliefs. It was the experience of the resurrection that gave birth to the writings of the New Testament. It wasn't the writings of the New Testament that gave birth to the ideas of the resurrection. The writings of the New Testament are simply evidence of the ideas. And it raises the question, why? Why did so many people believe that a man that they knew was dead rise from the dead? Shouting for all of you guys. Shouting for all of you guys. So, ladies and gentlemen, the problem with the agnostic's argument is he wants to dismiss the evidence because he doesn't like the evidence. But as we just saw, when challenged on his historical consistency, he is forced to admit that the New Testament is evidence of the resurrection. And any honest person will have to admit that the New Testament is evidence of the resurrection. And then I simply challenge them, do you have the courage to follow the evidence?